Hi, good morning. Carrie Barrett and I are here to discuss the importance of video. I am Monica Dema of MD Inc., and I get to interview Carrie Barrett of Carrie Barrett Consulting.
Thank you for having
So, of course. So, Carrie, I know that we normally have our podcast interview chat sessions in person. Sometimes there's a glass of wine or coffee involved.
me.
Unfortunately, because of today's environment, we have to socially isolate ourselves as much as we can.
Yep.
So along those lines, how are you dealing with social isolation as it relates to your consulting business?
Well, you know what? It's tricky. And I think most of us are in the same boat. I'm a relatively new business owner. I've been in business for a little less than a year now. So I've never really had to navigate these sorts of waters. And I know many of us have not, but for somebody who's been in business a little bit longer, let's say through the recession in 2008 or perhaps post 9/11, they're more familiar with figuring this out. They know what worked in the past, hopefully, or what didn't. So one of the things that I'm leaning on right now is one of the services that I offer my customers and my clients, which is video communication. And that's really how I'm approaching this and navigating this. So many of us are stuck at home and we feel like, I'm not sure what to do. How do I continue to reach out to clients or potential clients? What's the best way to do that? The good news here is that there's so many different ways for us to reach out to our current clients, our potential clients, our teammates, if we work with other people in a way that's much more personal than it ever used to be, and that's via video. The one thing is that there are so many options and so many different platforms, it can be hard to pick the one that's right for you.
And how do you know which one is right?
I think it's really trial and error. Honestly, to be truthful, I'm still figuring out what the right platform is for me. I will say, and this is not an ad, I do use a video marketing service called BombBomb, and I can send video emails. I can use that to post video comments to LinkedIn. I can reach out to people on LinkedIn with video. I can respond to them and create really personal introductions, because here's the thing. None of us really know how long this is going to last. And we all know we usually reach out to people on LinkedIn via text. Well, who knows? It may be a month or two before you're ever able to see somebody in person. So if you can put your face and your voice to those words, it helps you create that connection a little bit easier. But it is trial and error and figuring out where your customers and clients lie and then which platform works best with that.
So I guess what I've been telling my clients for months, and you as well, is that video is super important to be knowable, likable, and trustable. Um, why would you say now is the time to start a video marketing campaign?
Yeah, well, because most of us have a little bit of extra time on our hands. That's not really the reason. But one of the things, too, that's great about video communications right now is many people are hesitant to spend money, right? We know that marketing is important and we know that it's something that we need to do, especially now. We are in the middle of what many consider as an emergency. And so the smart businesses are figuring out what their strategy and their recovery plan is going to be and how they're going to make the best use of money they do have coming in, which for many of us has been significantly cut. And one of the great ways to do that for free is to market yourself using video. It's cost effective and it's relatively easy to do.
And if I can just piggyback on that. So I've had at least a dozen Zoom, Google Hangout,
Yeah.
WebEx calls. And oftentimes when it's a networking kind of function or just a group of us talking in a mastermind kind of session, if you look around the boxes, what people look like, they are casual. They are wearing a hat. They have their hair in a ponytail. They might have washed their face. They might not.
Yes.
So there's really no reason to take yourself too seriously. We're essentially all in the same boat, and that boat is isolationism, or quarantine, depending, hopefully not. But I've done videos and I posted them on LinkedIn and elsewhere where I'm wearing my hat and I'm wearing a nice sweatshirt. I can't say that everybody wants to do that or everybody feels comfortable doing that, but I feel like you need to meet your clients where they are. Not, although maybe some of us like to dress up every day when we have an audience of zero, we might not need to do that for the next few weeks.
Right. No, I think you're absolutely right. It's very similar, although there are differences obviously between talking to somebody on camera and talking to somebody in person. But I advise clients, listen, if you're going to talk to a bunch of people who work in the construction industry, would you approach them in a three-piece suit? No, you wouldn't. You'd still look professional. You'd have khakis, but maybe you just have a button down and the sleeves rolled up. Right? You're absolutely right. The best way to approach your client, whoever that is, and regardless of where you are, is to wear something that fits in with their demographic. And you are absolutely right. You meet them where they are, but in a way that's authentic to you and what you do as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've done the same thing. I've done a number of video calls and video networking events. Sometimes in, these networking groups that we attend, this is their first foray into doing a video networking event, which is great. Like I said, there's tons of options out there, but you do realize when you are in a group with, there's one person talking, then there's, maybe 10 little boxes up at the top and you see everybody's face. One of the things that you should try and do is minimize distraction. And that means, one-on-one, it's easy to do. You're focused on who's in front of you. Video is a little bit of a different story, and it always has been. It's very easy to get distracted, especially if you see 10 talking heads that are all jiggling and wiggling around and, they're moving their computer and this is happening. And, somebody gets up to leave. And like I said, you can see up their nose and right. You have to be mindful of what you're doing and what you're saying and how your behaviors or your fidgeting or whatever it is either helping or hurting the group as a whole. And I will also say this, mute your mic if you're not talking, mute your mic, because oftentimes the sounds that are in our homes, we're so used to them, we don't hear them. The dog barking, the, delivery guy at the door, or the timer going off on the stove. But for everybody else, that's a noise that they're unfamiliar with, so it becomes distracting. So mute yourself and then remember to unmute when it's time to talk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One last thing I want to ask you about filming video at home for your audience, an authentic video. Yeah. So what should be behind you? Should you have a whiteboard? Should you have family images? What should be behind you?
Well, you'll see, right? I'm in my home office, and so I have lots of home video, lots of home pictures here, pictures of my kids. There's some work stuff. Generally, my dog is usually sleeping on that behind me, but she's barking, so I kicked her out of the room. But here's what I say. It does depend a little bit on who you are, right? And what you do. There's not a one size fits all. This is very much an art, not a science. However, a few best practices. Unless you are a really slick marketing company and you're used to putting together highly produced videos and video campaigns, and you're really showing that you have, all these bells and whistles and what you can do for your clients, that's one thing. But for a conversation like this, or for a video tutorial or a tip or a best practice, I never like to put a green screen or a white screen up behind me, a logo, anything like that. And the reason is that people see that, and regardless of what comes out of your mouth, they're primed to think that you're trying to sell them something. And so there is a little bit of a drawback, where in this sort of situation, it feels a little bit more like a conversation, which is really ultimately what you're trying to do when you have a video call with a client, a potential client, a teammate. So calibrate your background for who you are and who your audience is. But remember, this is a conversation. It's not an overt sales pitch necessarily. You're adding value for them. And so for that reason, I stick with something that's a little bit more personable.
And my personal favorite is just to have blankness behind me.
Yes.
Right now I have my curtains and my chair behind me. Sometimes it's my office with my diploma. But the fewer distractions, the better. I want them to focus on me.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. And you have a great background right now. Monica's like a best practice in terms of how you should approach your video calls, because you have a really neutral, pretty background, but you're wearing a bright color. We're all probably a little bit depressed and isolated. So
exactly why I chose this color for spring, for cheeriness. Yeah. There's power in colors.
And especially if you are in an area that is, we don't all have the home studios, right? So your lighting may not be great in your office or in your basement or wherever it is that you're doing your call. So just especially right now when we're all in a little bit in the doldrums, try and wear something bright. Not only does it help make you stand out in front of the picture, but it hopefully brings a little bit of at least an inside smile to whomever it is that you're speaking with. You've brought an inside smile to me.
Aw, thank you, Carrie. That's the same for me as well. So early in the morning.
Thank you.
But thank you for your time. I think this is really insightful for me, and I hope our audience feels the same thing. I would love to hear your questions, your inspiration, your concerns down below in the comments.
Yeah.
If you have anything that you want us to discuss for our next video, please let us know. Or if you want to be part of the next video, let us know. Looking forward to chatting with all of you. And Carrie, thank you again so much.
Absolutely. Everybody stay healthy and stay productive. And we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Bye.